He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call a child, 5-year-old, the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
When you are stuck in your mind, you are quite literally in a delusion. You are in a delusion that you are not safe because that inner child of yours is stuck in memory loops.
She's so fucking disgusting and nasty. A sad excuse for a human being. We're gonna make you famous, bitch. We're gonna make you famous.
Your wish has been granted. Until the next
You made something real that isn't real in the present moment. So the thing with healing is returning to reality.
You know, that's a hate speech.
Alright, so we live. I really was not planning on doing this shit today. I just really was minding my own goddamn business. And lovely YouTube decided to give me a moment in the Matrix. Now, I'm sure you clicked on this because you know about what has transpired with this lady. But I find it absolutely wild that in scrolling up on YouTube, I happen to find a video right below it in which another young lady who looks exactly like her and is talking about how to transcend or victim consciousness. And I just had to take a moment and really absorb what the universe was presenting to me in these two videos, seemingly separated across space and time, about two totally different situations, and yet they almost just were matched for each other, matched perfectly for me. I guess the YouTube's algorithm was working perfectly today. So without further ado, let's jump right in and let's just observe what's going on here with this situation.
In Atlanta for Comedy Hype News, I'm
from
Symphony
Shiloh
Thompson.
Hendrix.
When news began to circulate of Shiloh Hendrix, a white woman who called a 5-year-old autistic black boy the N-word because he took her child's toy, many predicted the woman would play victim after being called out, which would lead to the loss of her job and livelihood. What caught many by surprise is the $600,000 she's raised.
And I guess they were right. I can't contain it. It's so crazy that a white woman in 2025 is racist. What? Wow. Yeah, I know. I wasn't really surprised by seeing that. Wow. Okay. But the story continues. And for whatever reason, I guess the universe is doing its magic on me. I didn't feel triggered. I didn't feel appalled. I just wanted to look at the situation for what it was. And as it continues, I get to realizing that, oh, okay, maybe there's a different way of looking at this. Because on one hand, you can say, oh my gosh, white people, oh my gosh, here they are again. But truthfully, I think this was our moment to really look at where we're at in this world. And I think that it's time to stop playing the victim. I think that people with heavy amounts of melanin in their skin, because we're all born with melanin in our bodies, but our heavily melanated people, I think, need to recognize that we're moving into a space where we're going to have more and more power. And we are either going to force ourselves back into a situation that we have found ourselves in, or we can transcend all of this bullshit. So we have this story with this young child who they label as autistic, took something away from this pure white child, and for me, I can already see the manipulation starting. So this autistic black child was accosted by this white woman. But in a way, I really look at it like this child, even though they say autism is on a spectrum, I think this child knew very well who he was dealing with. And he had some sensibility to say, hey, I want what this boy has, and I'm going to take it. And because he's quote unquote neural divergent, people somehow look at it as he's a victim. But I think he just wasn't programmed in the way that most people of his demeanor, his status in society looked at it. He saw what he wanted and he took it. Now, you can say so many different things about that. He was just, let's just look at the facts. I don't think he's a bad person by any stretch or any means. I think what he did was he saw what this child had and he took it. And I think melanated people as a whole are afraid to take what's theirs. We've had so much taken from us as a people. And I don't think we're all the same, but I do think there are some of us who have had things taken from us. Lives, livelihoods, well-being, freedom. I think us and our karmic recycling in this planet are coming back to this situation we call reality, and we are starting to take back what is ours. So we need to be very careful and we need to be very observant going forward about how we proceed with these things. So let's continue.
To protect her family, since the video of a man confronting Hendrix using the N-word was released.
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child, 5-year-old, the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know, that's a hate speech. And you can be recorded for that.
I don't give a shit.
This is classic, and I if you haven't seen this, go watch the video some other place, because this is gold. Like, we're looking at it like, oh, scary white woman doing what white women do. But if you really take a moment to think about it, this woman is afraid, fearful of a boy, a child. Honestly, 20 years, 30 years her junior. You can just see it. Like, she's holding her baby, but she's in a childlike state right here. And she's acting as if a child would act. So she's retroactively in this state of mind of being a child. I think maybe at some point in her life she was accosted just like her son was, and now she's trying to fix that situation for her son and trying to rescue her son from this situation she saw him in. And she was about to hit this boy because she was that traumatized by something in the past. And I don't know if it was exactly this or that, but you can just look at it for what it is. She's someone who is afraid of the power of melanin. Now, those who watch this video can obviously be in outrage, like, how can you, or what? But honestly, I really am only speaking to those who are ready to step out of the trauma cycle and really march forward and understand the power that we truly have as a people of melanin. I don't really like using the term black. It really does have a certain connotation to it, more so that we're chess pieces on a board and were being played. And I used to feel like this underwhelming feeling about my status in life, and therefore I would always frame certain circumstances as proof that we are being victimized. But I don't think that's anymore. I think, yes, in the past we may have been victimized, but that's because we were tricked. And now we're starting to wake up and become more aware of who we are. So take a moment, breathe if you're upset, and really walk with me here, because there's a lot going on in this video.
In her video for the fundraiser, Hendrix would say, "My social security number has been leaked. My address and my phone number have been given out freely. My family members are being attacked. My eldest child may not be going back to school. Even where I exercise has been exposed. I am asking for your help to assist in protecting my family. I fear that we must relocate. I have 2 small children who do not deserve this. We have been threatened to the extreme by people online. Anything will help. We cannot and will not live in fear."
Now, she's talking all of this right now, but when the guy was recording her, she didn't in the slightest seem sympathetic. And I think people are picking up on that. So for her to come out and cry victim is a bit hypocritical. But we're dealing with a mass psychosis here where we both understand that she's a victim, but we're still, in a sense, afraid of the perceived power that white tears have. So, in a sense, I'm asking those who are watching to pick a lane. Are we afraid of this person, or are we condemning this person? Are we looking to be, in a sense, like her and cry victim for her behavior? Or are we looking to understand the power that we truly have? Because, you know, as soon as this was posted to the internet, the people got active. They made sure to get retribution for our young hero who took what was his, or what he felt was his, from this child. And then the white knights had to come in and protect her and make her rich, in a sense. I'm pretty sure in her life she's probably never seen this amount of money. So this situation is very tipsy-turvy, and depending on how she manages it, she could manage her life to be worse, or she could manage her life to be better because of the situation. But I don't think she's going to handle it in the proper way. I think this is going to crush her, because if she truly was a victim and she hasn't been lashing out, divinity will protect her, and it'll give her an opportunity to take this and do some good for her children and her family.
Stated before, since posting the video, Hendrix has raised over $600,000. The incident has the country divided, with many condemning the behavior of the white woman, while several white racists are in support. Some white racists have even compared Hendrix's fundraiser to Carmelo Anthony's fundraiser, because both started their fundraiser in order to protect their families, albeit for different reasons. D.L. Hughley would repost a video from Michael McWhorter, who would reshare the original video of Hendrix being confronted. Hughley's caption of the reshared video would say, "Calling a 5-year-old an N-word and then begging for money online because people are pissed about it."
It's not diabolical. It's actually expected behavior. This woman felt victimized by this boy, not necessarily by the online hatred. In that moment where she was in the park, she was very bold and very much trying to escape the situation, fight or flight. She scooped up her little baby boy and she was out of there, saying whatever she needed to say, not realizing that there would be major repercussions. So That alone was diabolical. So her being in a state of reflection saying, oh yeah, I fucked up. Yeah, that's not diabolical at all. That's actually par for the course, as they should say.
Now, Hughley would follow that post up with another condemning the state of the country and the platform that allowed donations. Hughley would write, "This is everything that's wrong with America. It's actually over $630,000 now." The fact that this woman proudly verbally attacked a 5-year-old autistic black child with the N-word, threatened to physically attack him as well, and then played victim is sick. Give, Send, Go, allowing for the crowdfunding of an admitted racist attack on an autistic child is...
I think certain people like this want to keep us in this victim mindset. We can understand when we're being attacked, and we can move accordingly without necessarily having to cry about it. We know what it is. We've lived in this circumstance as a people for hundreds of years. So this isn't new. So why does it feel like we're treading the same grounds, especially when he says what he's going to say next?
It's telling of how far we haven't come in this country. The comments on her crowdfunding page make me sick.
That's it right there. Showing how far we haven't come in this country. And the change really starts with us. We're the people in power now. We need to understand that it's only going to change for us when we do what we need to do. And that's why I felt so drawn to really come out here and talk about this, is because we don't need to be out here feeling some type of way. We need to just start moving accordingly.
Throughout the weekend, Hughley would not let up on the situation, even sharing a statement from Arthur Zach W. Lambert on Instagram. The post said, "We must reckon with the fact that a significant number of Americans won't pay for hungry kids to get lunch or sick kids to get health care. But they will pay $500,000 to a white woman for calling a 5-year-old black kid the N-word. We also must reckon with the fact that the vast majority of these people identify as Christian."
This is deplorable in it of itself. Like, how could you truly even try to frame it like that? Like, there are millions and millions of people who do the right thing. So when you say a significant number of Americans, what are you actually even saying? It's almost just like you don't want to acknowledge the good that's being done out here. Oh, fine. All right. Yeah, there are some people out here supporting victim mindset, but this little $500,000 that this lady got is nothing compared to the gross national product of this country. Like, we're in the trillions. That $500,000 may be significant to an individual, a single individual, but in the grand scheme of things, that's nothing. Let her get paid. She needs this. She's a victim, in a sense. And honestly, it's going to really improve her character, because to get that amount of money, that'll make or break a person. So she could get this and literally spiral worse because of it. So you shouldn't fear her getting her little paycheck, because the laws of nature are going to balance all of that out.
Now, Hughley wasn't the only comedian to chime in on the sensitive issue. Ari Spears would reshare a video of a black man defending Hendrix. Spears would also take the opportunity to call out several other black public figures who often cape for white approval.
So a white woman defends her child from being bullied in a park, is recorded by a man who was arrested for what? And y'all are outraged at the mom for using a word?
Now, truth be told, I do slightly align with the truth being said here, but it's this man's sentiment that really just shows like he's definitely picking a side here. Shifty eyes, slow tone, the rhetorical questions. Yeah, this lady's child was getting, I don't say bullied, but I mean, let's be honest. Like, we're in the power where we can take what we want. So, yes, that's not something we kind of, I can just feel like the cringe on people. Like, oh no, we're not like that. We're not bullies, but you know, when you got a certain level of power that you can just take from people, it's the energy you got. Like, and I can feel certain people feeling like, no, we would never. No, we're good people. And I think that's honestly why we're in the predicament that we were in. You know, when these people came over, we were very kind and very offering to them, and we offered them space and common sense, and we were just very charitable people. But in a sense, it wasn't enough, and they took and they took and they took and they took from us, and it got to a point where we were left with the scraps. So I think we need to really stop being afraid of showing the level of power that we have. I think we need to step over that.
A word. Y'all are doxing and threatening a woman because she used a word to the point where she needs to ask for help to relocate her family. And this is the world we live in. A mom defending a word hurts y'all so much. A word that y'all use every day. A word you use in music every day hurts you so much that you decide.
Honestly, we shouldn't be upset about a word that, you know, some people choose not to use. When they tried to give a nigga a funeral, I was a young person, but I still thought that shit was the goofiest shit ever. I don't think I ever want to give up nigga. Now, there may be somebody out there may be a few of you out there who feel like, no, we need to not use that word. I think the other guy a couple weeks ago was talking about we need to stop using YN because of the connotation with that. Like, no, we're not giving it up. We're not giving it up.
You know, a mom defending herself. And then the person that recorded it, where's the parents at to the child? Have they came out? Have they told us why their child was in the park by himself? No. Y'all won't hold that person accountable. Y'all just want the kids to run around and tear shit up. This is what I'm talking about. And I'm glad that white folks see this bullshit.
Yeah, he honestly feels like somebody who wants to stand against being with the group. And it's just in his language. You people, you, y'all. The person who was recording really was just saying like, hey, this is kind of stupid behavior, lady. I think the only way to get retribution is to show the world how you're behaving. But yeah, based on his language, his demeanor, he definitely feels like he doesn't want anything to do with the collective.
I swear I don't know how some of these ninjas sleep at night. Coons like John Paul King, Jason Whitlock, Terrence K. Williams, steady bootlicking so aggressively for white acceptance. Like, y'all don't have black mothers or grandmothers? Dang shame.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not saying you can't have good white folks in your life, but to throw your own under the bus for it is crazy. Like Will Miller says, we need to pack these ninjas up.
That doesn't matter to these people. You can't shame people who already chose a side away from their side. They picked a side. And the point I'm trying to make is we don't have to pick sides anymore. We want the whole pie, the good and the bad. And I'm going to get to that because there's so much more to this whole situation that I really, really want you to stick around and understand what's happening in this world. Because
she's so fucking disgusting and nasty. A sad excuse for a human being. We're gonna make you famous, bitch. We're gonna make you famous. What's really sad is this: her son has to experience this kind of shit.
what's really sad is the fact that he really does not get it. I mean, as somebody on the internet, how could you possibly think? I mean, I don't know, like him just starting out like really aggressively, like she's a disgusting example of a human being, and really saying it with his chest about how bad her behavior is, like it's not obvious. Like, I think that's, I don't know, it's a bit redundant in a sense. I don't think anybody who watched that video who's of sound mind really thought what she was doing was good. I think there's people who definitely understand that people are stupid and maybe took her side. Okay, whatever, we're not talking to those people. But for him to sit there and say, like, we're going to make you famous, as if, like, exposing her behavior to the world is a net positive or a net negative, or wherever you want to swing it, is going to somehow fix this behavior. That's goofy. That's goofy, Godfrey. That's honestly goofy because, honestly, it made this woman rich by this behavior. She got filmed, she got famous, and got paid for it. So, all right, if that's what your goal is, you want to get this lady famous, then you got her famous, and now she's paid. But again, not everybody can handle that type of money, and they might self-implode. So maybe he's on to something here.
Well, you know, they always say that racism starts between 3 and 5. Parents start to teach their kids about racism, and that's really a shame. What time do you teach your children to hate people that look different than you? What time? When do you take your toxic, dump-hearted ass, and when do you say, hey, let me ruin my kid's innocence and pour my evil into him or her? When the fuck do you do that?
Godfrey wrote, so I guess this 5-year-old black kid broke this white kid's toy at the playground, and his mother responded by calling him the N-word. We're talking about a little boy here. Shout out to the man recording her and calling her out, but this is a shame that her son has to see this. They say that racism begins between the ages of 3 and 5. That's when these parents begin to teach their evil racist ways to their children. I wonder what part of the day you guys set aside to start ruining your child's innocence and teaching them your
The fact that he's talking about it's evil, it shows he doesn't understand psychology. Like, obviously this lady don't think what she was doing or teaching her child is evil. It's just her thinking that she's protecting her child. And when we start to say shit like this is what reinforces these racist behaviors. Obviously, racism don't start at 10. It started some people looking at, you know, these people doing something as they don't like, and then they do something in response to that, and then they do something even worse to retaliate against the shameful behavior tactics. And then it just cycles and it snowballs into more and more shit. I think racism probably started just from like a snide look. And over time, we just collectively as a race of people started to understand that, you know, oh, the other people over there, and that's all racism is just othering. So it's just like, when are we going to break out of this bullshit? Like, it's tough because I don't know what to do. Like, if you expose it, they get paid. If you try to hide it, it still continues. It's like we need to do something else to get past all of this trauma that we live in as people.
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call a child, 5-year-old, the N-word.
if that's what he's gonna act
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
This is just silly. So this part was just the easy, all right, yeah, whatever shit. We can just keep scrolling. But immediately under this video, I see this next video, and I'm like, wait, did they show me? Is this lady's YouTube channel? And it wasn't. But I find that it was so poetic that literally, not like, oh, I scrolled a little bit, literally right below this video, they show me this next video. And honestly, it's either YouTube's algorithm is so precise and understands that, hey, we are in this soup of anger and rage, and they're just trying to classify, are you going to be on this side or that side? And they're just trying to feed you different videos based on this or that. But this next video is just like, it really just shows you, like, if you want to dig into your racism, then you're going to live in that echo chamber of just feeling bad about shit. Feeling bad that there are black people out here and they're autistic babies and taking shit from us. Or if you want to be a black person and saying, all these white people and they doing all this to us no matter what. After all this time in our country, they're so mean, these people. It's just...
When you are stuck in your mind, you are quite literally in a delusion. You are in a delusion that you are not safe because that inner child of yours is stuck in memory loops. You made a personal hell of yourself. You made something real that isn't real in the present moment. So the thing with healing is returning to reality, because reality is here and now. Time is an illusion. Time does not exist. And yet we have a mental capacity to look back and be in a memory and be triggered by things that aren't even real in the now moment. That's what all the trauma and all the triggers come from. All the triggers are just your past pain living in you and coming out in the present moment.
All right, we just gotta stop the video right there, because I gotta honestly say that victim serious right consciousness. I don't think it, like, who else could it possibly be triggered by the way she was saying to deliver this message to me, to stressing out in this moment. ER a little too much. Just literally see this woman so callously I'm just roll with it, and I'm flare back into good white moment. Obviously, she wasn't having really try to hear her a moment of lucidity.
So it's up to you as consciousness to remind yourself
she was transported
that it's not real.
Back to a point
it is not real
of trauma, and felt she needed to respond in this callous, cold way in order to protect herself. And that's the craziest part of this, is what people will do is they'll dogpile her. They'll be upset about it, her doing what she did, and it only reinforces the behavior. It only sends her to be more racist, so to speak, towards other. I mean, she's cooked for life. That lady is never, ever going to be a chill white woman. Chill. Maybe she'll have that one black friend who's just like, you're okay, like that one guy from the comedy hype video who was just like, how dare you be upset at this white woman over a word. And then probably she'll have like some of those people, and she say, why can't you're one of the good ones. Like, I know how this shit works. I know I dealt with racism on both sides throughout my life. I understand that there's those white people who get caught up in a situation and they really feel like they were correct, and there's always going to be some black people who are just going to say, you know what, it wasn't so bad. And me in my ignorant times, I was that person. But there's been times where I've been the racist towards these white people, you know. So it's messy out here. I've been that nigga to white people where they're like, you nigger. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck is that? Like, and I had to choose whether or not to react in a way that's going to just be, you know, crazy, or I could just react in a way where I'm consoling them for when I'm reacting to another black person is like, and I'm just tired of being in this cycle. Am I on this side or that side? Are you with us or you're against us versus them? And it's just ridiculous. So it's just so perfect. We get this lady right here, and she's able to transcend all of this bullshit, which I hope to do.
You are whole and complete right now, and you are safe now. You have to keep practicing this again and again and again. Anytime you feel triggered by another person, by a circumstance, anything that triggers you, any circumstance that ignites fear in you, or scarcity thinking, or lack, it's an illusion. It's not rooted in the now, because what's missing now? You're breathing, you have a roof over your head, or you have a car, or you are sitting somewhere, most likely conscious right now, rooted in reality, being grounded in reality, touching your hands, feeling the soles of your feet, noticing that you are witnessing, noticing that you are awareness being aware of itself, awareness being aware of awareness, and knowing that you are perfect. This moment is perfect because it's a divine orchestrated moment, and there's no moment beyond this moment, and everything is a perfect unfolding, divinely orchestrated. And I promise you, and this is a direct message to you from that divine order, every single fractal that we are is gonna get there. We're all floating downstream, going to the same destination. No matter what happens, no matter what your thoughts and emotions say that contradict that, no. Everyone gets to higher awareness, because that's the purpose, that's the destiny of the universe.
I just can't help the fact that these videos were just stacked right on top of each other. And in realizing that this is real life, this is really happening. I am really being subjected to algorithmic information. I didn't go looking for this shit today. I didn't go saying, let me find some racist moments to stew on. It was presented to me in this algorithm for my page, For You page, and I have a decision to make. So in a sense, that is what's real, that in every moment I have a choice on whether or not I am going to react in this way or react in that way. And you can say, well, I can't not react. Even not reacting is a reaction. That is the reality of life. And that's where she gets a little wrong, because it's easy to say it's not real, it's all an illusion. But the sentiment is true, that we should transcend these moments of triggering and react accordingly.
Watching this, you have food for the next day, or just for the next hour. That's enough, because you're in the now, and you have to trust that in the next moment, which is also the now, it's a new present moment, you are provided with everything you need. Because
the way she says lack kind of pisses me off, because it sounds like black. Lack and black are very close in terms of phonetics, but that's just me. But I watched this woman, and I really wish that in somehow, some way, she could be the one to talk to this Shiloh lady and really give her an opportunity to grow from this. But the way this reality plays out, the two shall never meet. And it's only for you watching this video who are really going to understand that this is the way the world works. In these moments where you have the most deplorable people, you have people on the opposite side of that coin who decide they don't want to be like that. And it's so easy to kind of force yourself to see in black and white, but there's so much color in it.
You are consciousness itself experiencing the illusion of Maya. Let go of all the outer projections, it's not real. The only reality that you have to be worried about, that's not good language by the way, the only reality that you should care about is what's happening right now. What's happening in this moment. Touch your hands, touch some grass, go outside, interact with reality. You stay stuck in the mind, and in this society we are actually programmed to be in our heads all the time, but it takes away from our real life. What's happening now is more important than what your memories.
This woman is talking directly to Shiloh. Like, honestly, I feel like this woman is meant to be talking to this lady. She's trying to tell her, like, you don't have to be triggered by this moment, but yet it's her talking to me. I witnessed this video, and now I get to see the polar opposite. This lady explaining, like, in a sense, she's just saying, we're not all bad. We're not all bad. No. It's fucking ridiculous. And honestly, this is what makes me feel like this might be a fucking simulation. And I'm in this weird space where I'm talking to myself, talking to her, seeing like all these people that probably don't even exist. Who even knows? Who even fucking knows?
Say. So when you're triggered, it's not because of the thing that's happening in your circumstance. It's happening because a past memory is coming up and your inner child is screaming because it has to relive that past memory. That's how you get disorders and borderline, and you get depression because you're stuck in the past, in loops, in hell loops, feedback loops that reinforce that memory. The false self version of you that's suffering again and again. The only savior that you have is being conscious right now,
so
rooted
crazy,
in reality.
because you know that lady was in her head about some emotion. Shiloh was definitely in her head about something. She saw her little baby boy, and then she instantly programmed. She put the whole thing on this little boy. And I'm sure the boy, this is a spiritual moment when that boy, like if I was schizophrenic, this would have blown my mind. It would have just felt like, oh my gosh, she's talking directly to me. Oh my gosh. But it's a fucking algorithm. And the algorithm decided to put this video next in line to this other video. And the algorithm, in a sense, is alive for that. That it knew this would be content that you would enjoy. And here I am, reacting to it in a way I never thought I would be reacting to it. Because I had no idea these people existed in the world, but now yet I do, and I'm connecting the words that one is saying to the other. If that's not a simulation, I don't know what is. I really hope you watching really understand that the world is constantly, the universe is constantly speaking to you. You are being talked to through me, through this lady Danique, and through Shiloh, and through all of these comedians making mockery of her. They're all trying to coalesce on that moment that you know you're having. So the situation is aside. You can take this situation and you can recolor it in a way that you know what you need to do. You don't have to be triggered in this next moment that you're going to be dealing with. You can transcend it and not be a victim of it.
Which is you, universe, you. The destiny of the universe is to raise awareness and evolve to higher awareness again and again and be rooted in reality. And then you notice that this reality that feels so real, in and now, is ultimately not who you are, but you are the awareness behind it. And it's an illusion. So whenever you're triggered or you're having challenges in your reality, triggers,
slowly
emotional upheavals,
little by little by little by little into more fractionated pieces, and we're all becoming enveloped in our own worlds. And the only way back is in. The only way we can unite is through ourselves.
Contradict that? No. Everyone. Rejoice, because those emotional upheavals point you to where you need to retune yourself. You say, when you feel in a victim state, no, I'm the creator. I created this. I created this whole illusion. I create and uncreate all the time. I'm the creator. And everything is whole and complete in the now. There's no such thing as lack. I'm whole and complete. I am protected by who I am, by knowing who I am. You're not protected anymore when you go into the illusion and you identify with the false character, which is limitation and not you. That's when you lose yourself in a world of things. The world of things, the Maya.
That we just witnessed. And I'm having that same thing, and I want to unite this awareness. But it just all seems so separate. Like, transcend victim, like, that's not me. That's not the awareness I have. But I am aware of, like, the connectivity, the connective tissue of it all. But I don't feel like any of these people. But yet I am, so to speak.
So whenever you feel triggered, that's an opportunity. That's a gift for you. Whenever you feel suffering, you transmute that into awareness, into being here now. So you don't listen to the mind that projects in the future or the past. You say, no, I am unconditional love now. Unconditional abundance. And everything is happening now and it's all perfect. Because that's the ultimate truth. In the mind and emotions, just listen, just feel and hear the emotions. Let them pass and know thyself. You're the creator.
I just really can't, because the character is me, but I'm me pretending to be the character. So I am this awareness. I am the character. I can't separate the two. I can't separate any of these things. I'm just who I am. The character, the awareness, the observation. Everything is all the same, yet separate. It's the fucking deepest, but most shallow concept you could ever imagine.
Always remember this when you feel dysregulated, or you feel in panic. Everything is happening for you, through you, by you. Much love.
Everything is happening for me, through me, and to me. So I really can't even wrap this video up in a better way. I don't know what the fuck this moment was where I got to witness these two opposite perspectives, and I get to see a very despicable person, and obviously this other woman is very caring and kind. I bet you she's living a blissful life, just doing her thing, having the fucking blast, just not judging people and just recognizing things as awareness. But I do recognize my awareness is seeing both sides. So are both sides me? I don't fucking know. I know you're watching this video and you have your own perspective, so you even transform into your own fractal of things, and you're dealing with your own myriad of things. But I have no idea who you are. I'm speaking to the void right now, but somebody else is going to pick this up and they're going to run with it in their own way. And maybe the fractal continues to divide out. Who fucking knows? This could be watched by a fucking robot who's just observing content and decides to just serve it up to a whole nother dimension of people. It's all fucking gobbledygook, and this is why I had to stop fucking smoking weed, because this shit is crazy. This reality in itself is crazy. You don't even need psychedelics. Or maybe my brain is fried, and this is all fucking trip that I've been going on for the past 43 years. I'm out.